me a good time. I swear, you are like the oxygen I need to survive. I'll be honest. I'm loving the thought of me. I am so obsessed. I want to chop your heart. Never did it back and it's real. Open up, make us feel. Yeah, my love one thing. We make a bad man sing.
Safer Internet Day flows. Safer Internet Day Teen Summit. Will be soon. Because I'm joined by a real gentleman who will serve as one of your hosts as well for today, Mr. Joel Namdarko.
Thank you, lovely lady.
Look how we're much
Look
out,
here, we're much out. No, we're actually running that joke like welcome to the Flow High School, but you know that the cool kids.
Yeah.
I was talking about tech, all things tech,
Exactly.
digital, all them excitement there.
Exactly,
Yeah.
we're on trend. We
Well-
look nice. We look nice. We come out. We come out. We come out. We're gonna have a wonderful day, guys. It's gonna be super interactive, interesting, and a whole heap of discussions will be happening around safer internet and also making sure that our interactions are good. Yes. So.
And a big part of today is, Flow has been continuing this conversation for years around safety of the internet and just, putting out that mandate of how you can be responsible, how we can also ensure that our kids are responsible. A very crucial part of the conversations to be having. So kudos, big up the entire team at Flow for sticking to this and ensuring that it comes to fruition every year. Our kids have to understand this. And even as adults as well, safety of the internet and, it's a day celebrating worldwide. And as such, we want to encourage you to tune in. Thanks for being here with us, of course. But we kind of want to do a quick check-in. Where are you guys joining us from?
Joining us from which alley, which community, which school? Let us know inside the chat segment so we can big it up, please. Anybody here from Clarendon? Anybody inside the chat from our parish of Clarendon? Anybody from Clarendon College?
Yes.
Glenmere High School? Dembe, Garvey, Massimo?
I see Immaculate Conception.
What?
Big up yourself.
Yeah.
Looking out for Kingston College, Fortis Cat. We're not going to do that today,
Yep,
right?
no,
We're
not.
Okay. All right.
Okay, not today.
All right.
Tread
I see
carefully.
Denby.
Dembe School. Big up to Dembe High School.
St. Jago.
Where? From where?
St. Jago High School.
Yeah, big up Jago Massive.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. Immaculate with the blue and the white. So,
Yeah, I said the Immaculate.
yeah, man. The unbrand with us as well. Look like St. Jago full up the chat, man. Yeah,
Holy
man.
Jago Heights in the building. Hi, St. Jago. Anybody from Mobe? Anybody from Montego Bay? St. James? Anybody over there?
We're keeping it real.
Anybody from Trelawney?
Yalas.
Yalas,
Yeah,
big up
man.
yourselves, Yalas. Anybody from Mandeville? I hear some of you guys were like 12 degrees Celsius today.
Oh, gosh.
12? What? What's happening? What? I don't know.
And
Anyways.
of course, we're seeing Wilma's girls. But, we have an exciting session lined up for you today. And before we get into that, of course, we want to hear from the VP and General Manager of Flow and Chairman of the Flow Foundation to officially welcome you all to today's event.
Yep, so let's welcome to the podium Mr. Stephen Price. Put your hands together inside the chat, some emojis and them things here.
Yeah, man.
Hello, Jamaica. Hello, hello, hello. I want to say a strong good afternoon to each and every one of you and really thank you for joining us. This is something I look for every single year. A special thank you to our youth audience, our teachers, the parents out there, our partners, a lot of them, and the general public for just tuning in to this session. We're just so happy to have you. This is a huge moment for us as we continue to make sure, although we are providers of the internet, we want to make the internet safe for you. So, last year we staged our 3rd annual Teen Summit. And even though we're hosting it for the first time virtually, the response was just awesome, overwhelming. So many of you tuned in for the lively discussions, And it could have gone on for the whole afternoon, but we only had a certain amount of time to do it. But we're doing it even special this year. This is Safer Internet Week. There were many concerns raised, even more about the best practices that we had shared. Over the year, we kind of continued the conversation. We want to make and get more people involved. And today, we're back to share our experiences. We're back to share those learnings. More best practices, while highlighting some of the positive experiences in the online space. So, it is my pleasure as chairman of the foundation and as vice president and general manager of Flow Jamaica to really welcome you to the virtual Safer Internet Day Team Summit, right? We continue to navigate unprecedented times. Believe me, nobody thought we'd still be here, but yes, we are still here. For many of us, most of the learning, the work at home, entertainment, the networking are still happening in the online space. And while there have been many improvements in our online interactions and engagement in some areas, we're still seeing trends emerging in the online space. On one side, you see the spread of cancer culture, the hype of braffing, the rise of the dolly culture, and even more. On the other side, there are more digital entrepreneurs, more online support groups, and access to digital education opportunities, of which we've been driving that right across Jamaica. I work in the technology industry, and even with all that I know, I'm concerned about the online safety of our children, and especially my children. From the chat portals in online gaming rooms to even family pictures that I post, I'm acutely aware of the threats in the online space. However, I remain encouraged. I'm encouraged by the fact that more and more Jamaicans are taking a stand against the toxic behavior and negative trends in the space. This is why this week of events is so important. As the leading provider of communications and entertainment services, taking connectivity right across Jamaica, having invested over 200 million US over the past 3 years, and continuing to invest to bring internet to more homes, we're mindful of our responsibility. We take a huge amount of responsibility to empower our citizens to use the technology responsibly, respectfully, critically, and creatively as we work together to create a safer internet for all. We also ensure that we keep the focus on online safety. Throughout the year, through ongoing training programs under our Flow Foundation, through public webinars, and direct communication with our customers. I can tell you, even for instance, the elderly have recognized us to make sure that they recognize the work that we've been doing with senior citizens as well. So today, right across Liberty Latin America, we're celebrating and observing Safer Internet Day. We're proud once again to stage this event because I know it reaches so many of you out there. And we're proud to serve you as we build a better Jamaica. This year's theme, Together for a Better Internet, is a call to action for all stakeholders to ensure that the online space is safe for everyone. Whether you're a young person, a parent or a caregiver, whether you're a teacher or an educator, whether you're a policymaker or whether you represent an organization or industry, everyone has a role to play in creating and maintaining a better online world. We can all promote the positive by being kind and respectful to others, and by seeking out positive opportunities to create and connect. We can all respond to the negative by reporting inappropriate or illegal content and behavior online. Today, you have an action-packed afternoon, which you'll hear a lot more about that. But let me tell you something. On Friday, February 11th at 10 a.m., the focus shifts to our senior citizens with a forum that's going to be hosted by Auntie Faye Ellington. Glenn Titus Campbell will be there as well, where they will explore how communities can identify and protect themselves from scammers and phishers while enjoying the internet safely. Tune into our social pages on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube, where you can tune in. The week climaxes, right, with a kids talk for preteens hosted by Dr. Terry Carell Reed. And that's going to be on Saturday, February 12th at 9:30 a.m. on TVJ, highlighting smart tips of keeping safe online, a closer look at positive online habits for preteens, and how parents can better monitor their children's online behavior. Even though our events are again being held virtually, and I can't wait for us to get together, we hope that the 2022 week of activities will still be vibrant. I can see you're coming on in your hundreds. It will be engaging. It will be thought-provoking. All these discussions will happen and will reflect on our increased use of technology as a result of the pandemic. So, let's participate. Let's make the most of the internet's potential to bring our people together. Let's have a great, safer internet week and continue the conversations. I'm going to hand over to DJ Cryptic, who's going to take it through.
Respect is reciprocal, even though una know say I special. I'ma get no be so, yeah you won't capture my soul. I'ma get no be so, make you want wumbo lumbo.
All right. No, first of all, we have so many persons joining us from all across the island, from Negril to St. Thomas to St. James. We have Kingston and St. Andrew. We have folks coming in from Orakabesa High School, and it's just wonderful that we're all gathered here today to talk about these very important discussions and to just get a little bit deeper into what it means to participate in Safety Internet Day, and also what do we need to do to safeguard what we do online, whether it's through social media or emailing, whatever it is that we do. And of course, we also want to use this opportunity to, big up some of the partners that we have. We're talking about the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology, the Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the National Secondary Students Council, the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, the National Council for Senior Citizens, U-Report, the Jamaica Observer, and OUR Today. Now, a big part of even discussing this is understanding the significance of having partners and different people coming together to ensure that for that greater good of bringing this initiative across and getting people well educated on it is well supported. Because let's face it, digital is here. Digital will continue to grow. Digital will continue to be a part of our lives. And it's just how we deal with that and handle that. Digital with our kids, even digital with ourselves as adults. So we're very happy that you're able to join us. And of course, we're keeping things social, so hashtag SID 2022 if you want to join in on the conversation, whether it is that you want to do a post on Instagram or you want to tweet us, Facebook, whatever it is that you want to do. And most importantly, hashtag Flow SID 2022. We're keeping the conversation going. We want to understand how you stay safe. We want to understand how you, maneuver sometimes a very difficult part of just understanding the web and, internet and being safe. So share some of your experiences, share some of the tips that you do. We're looking out for them on Twitter, and we're looking out for them on Instagram as well. And we also want to be a part of the conversation. So for all of you joining us on Zoom, if you want to take a selfie and post it, share what you're learning, some of the key learnings, and what it means to participate in Internet Safety Day and get the conversation moving. So remind us again, where you're joining from, which high school you're joining from, which parish you're in. Keep them coming in the chat. And we also have some exciting things as well to, keep us throughout the day. Of course, you can't just have a really nice seminar and not do some giveaways. So you can look out for those as well. Sharpen up those skills and you will see some of the great benefits that you will get. Again, I want to remind you of our wonderful partners, the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology, the Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the National Secondary Students Council, the Child Protection and Family Service Agency, the National Council for Senior Citizens U-Report, the Jamaica Observer, and OUR Today. Now, we're heading over to our first discussion, or very soon, because, we're getting there for the discussion, and we have some of the brightest minds to learn from, some of the brightest minds, because a part of understanding internet safety also, you want to hear from those who are active participants in it. And some of the data presented by Stephen Price earlier shows where young people are thinking, what's happening, some of the dangers that are really there, and some of the places that we need to put some immediate attention. And we'll be hearing from some of the brightest minds, what exactly are some of the effects on, just being on the internet. We have some documentaries sometimes that we might see that talks about the dangers of the internet. Sometimes we hear about, parents having child lock on their devices and passwords and all of that. So we're going to understand what's really happening in the minds of some of the brightest in Jamaica. And dealing with this conversation, we have obviously my wonderful co-host, Debbie Bissoon. Quite an exciting conversation to be had. Debbie, over to you.
Thank you so much, Joel. Yes, we do. We are joined here this afternoon by a few of the brightest minds out of Jamaica, representing a few of the schools as well, and they're here to offer us a little insight about what's on their minds this afternoon as we talk about Safer Internet Day. So I have with me Jamal Hall, the president of the National Secondary Students Council and student at Monroe College. You have to wave and so them know who you is, right? And so persons online can say, Monroe, big up to the Monroeites. Also joining us, we have Kijani Williams, student of Kingston College. And Joel is going off around there in the back, and big up to everybody from KC. We also have Janae Francis, senior prefect at St. George's College. Big up St. George's. I'm sure they're there repping for you, right?
Yeah, sure.
But welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here this afternoon. It's all about you. It's our Teen Summit, and it's about getting an insight about what's happening, of course, online and your user experience, as you navigate, right? That kind of jungle that's there online. But we really want to understand you more, and so we have some questions that are geared towards pulling out some of the experiences that our teenagers are facing really online. And I'm going to start with Jamal. Jamal, just tell me though, in general, what are some of the challenges that our teenagers face in the online space?
Well, thank you so much for that, Debbie. I think we have several challenges that we face as students, just like you as adults. The main one being cyberbullying, and that comes in different forms. So it comes in the form of digital peer pressure. We know that we have several cases where students are even trolled on Twitter for unfamous thought or tweet. I'm sure we've all been victims to that. But really and truly, cyberbullying comes to us in several forms, and that, I believe, is one of the main forms of attacks that our students face in this space.
Cyberbullying. Right. Kajani, do you have anything you want to add about that, about cyberbullying?
I definitely have to agree with Jamal that cyberbullying is definitely one of the most prevalent things that are on social media which affects us as students. And I think that peer pressure as well, and we have seen some really serious cases of it. And something that is really shocking, we've actually seen revenge porn affecting us as students on social media. We had a case just last week.
Wow. Wow, wow. Janae, I'm sure of course, you just nodded a while ago when Jamal mentioned a while ago cyberbullying and, being attacked because of an unpopular opinion being shared. Your own experience as well. Have you ever been cyberbullied before? If you don't want to tell us, that's okay, but this is a safe space.
Cyberbullying, no, I have never been a victim of it, but I have definitely been there to see some people really go through a lot of very, 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 terrible situations where they have been very close to committing suicide because of it. So I think it's very prevalent, and it's something that we do have to pay attention because it's there.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Kijani, one of the things that we saw recently was an online report that spoke to the addiction, right? to not missing out, the fear of missing out, the FOMO. Do you think that this is something that our teenagers struggle with, feeling that like they need to always be up to the time and inform and always be onto something, and if you are not, it's not okay, and you're not cool, and you're not popular?
I definitely believe that this is something, and personally speaking, I believe that I would fit in the category where I'd always want to be informed. So I definitely think that we do see this as an issue where we always want to be informed. We are so distracted by social media, and we're always on our phones.
Yeah. And I'm going to bring in Janae here. Janae, we have to talk about, the self-image.
Definitely.
And it usually happens, unfortunately, with us as females, trying to look like something because it's what we see and it's what is popular and accepted largely by the likes and the comments and such. Do you feel like it's pressuring as a teenager when you look online and see all these types of images that as, a teenager, you feel the need to want to match up?
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's something that I have had to deal with as well, finding myself, especially in the eyes of the online sphere, where you have different influencers who, dress a certain way and they have certain things, and it's a thing that we as young people have to deal with, where it's like if you don't have the latest shoes, the latest clothes, you're not hip, you're not keeping in line with everything that everyone has going on.
Yeah.
So it's like you feel left out because, okay, maybe I can't afford that, but let me, starve myself, not eat lunch money so that I can buy this, so that I can be, up to the time with everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that, even us as ladies, we have to, keep up with. Your makeup has to be done, your nails, toenails, everything. So.
Yeah.
Dolly. Right.
Jamal says dolly, but for you as well, Jamal, I mean, you have to look like a man, you know what I mean? You have to just look a certain way, the latest clocks and the latest. You have to have a swagger up, right?
Sure.
But do you feel pressure? Because sometimes you may probably just want to walk around in T-shirts and jeans and still feel cool.
I'll give you an example, Debbie. I walked in the room earlier, and every blessed person I looked on the wall, pin them. And I'm thinking everybody like, it's just a few pins, guys. But then what you have to understand is that in this current day and age, the socio-economic culture of the society we now live in, it dictates our norms, it dictates our phenomena. So if you're a 16-year-old, there is just this ideology that you should be driving. I mean, the girls too,
At 16?
At 16, the girls too will tell you, say, if you're not drive, you're not say nothing. so we have to combat these things first before we are even able to attack the idea of digital peer pressure or cyberbullying in its several forms.
Yeah, Kijani, I see you looking dead center at me like you want to add something. You want to add anything to that?
Yes, definitely to add to what Jamal said, the girls are saying if you're not a car man, they're not going to want to talk to you. So yes, I believe that.
So it's pressuring on you, right?
Yes.
And you have driver's license? You have a driver's license yet?
I'm in the process.
You're in the process, exactly. So give him some time. My God, don't pressure him so much. Give him some time. One of the other things about social media use, John, we will get to, of course, the positive side of the internet use, because we have to, balance the scale, because a lot of the persons inside, even this room, I've met online first. And so social media and internet use have really had its positives, and we can't ignore that. So we're not here to bash the internet completely. We're here, of course, just to understand the challenges that our teenagers face and to offer solutions and perspectives. Kijani, interpersonal skills on social media. Do you think that because of the fact that we spend a lot of our time on social media, do you think it's deteriorating in the way we interact, or even just our very own interpersonal skills? So nowadays, some of us don't even know how to interact when we come face to face with each other.
Definitely. I'd use an example. It was just a couple of weeks ago, I went out with some friends for sushi, and all of us were at the table and we were just on our phones. We had to say, okay, guys, we're out here, let's interact with each other. And I think the pandemic has added to that, where we've been inside for so long, we're stuck to our phones, Zoom, we're always online. So I definitely believe it is hard for us to communicate as we used to, or as we should.
Yeah, because you'd rather what? Tweet about it than really verbalize and talk about it. Like, oh my God, this sushi is so good. Kijani, do you find that your interpersonal skills, though, have been challenged any at all by just the amount of time being spent on social media?
I definitely would have to agree with Kijani, because there is this idea that, you know, whenever you're in a physical space, if you're not tweeting about it, if you aren't posting on Instagram, social, I've had friends who the first thing they do when they reach to an area, a setting, is to take a picture.
Yeah.
And they never get the chance to really and truly bask in the opportunity that they've been given. So what we have is a degradation of, I think, social skills, because our youth no longer know how to communicate effectively. It's all for publicity and the bliss.
Yeah, and the likes, and the comments, and the shares. Right, for sure. And talking about the likes and the comments, you know, Janae, do you find that it's pressuring when, let's say, you don't have a teenager may not have the amount of followers or the kind of engagement online, you post something you look that looks very similar to somebody else who posted. That person may have garnered a lot of you know, likes, comments, and yours only get 5 likes. And I say, boy, you know, is something wrong with me?
Yeah, because I've fallen victim to that, because it is that I mean, I think I'm pretty, you know, cool and stuff with.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I think I'm pretty cool and up to date with everything that's going on social media. So when I have a post and I post it and it doesn't get as many likes as I would like, I'm just like, is something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with my hair? Oh my God, like, why is nobody liking this? And I start to really, like, it gets to me. So I think about it so much, and it's like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? Is there something else that I need to be doing? And sometimes I feel really bad because, like, I don't have the likes, people aren't really commenting, what did I do wrong? So I think it's something that, it's another thing that we have to deal with, because it's like, okay, she doesn't have that many followers, she doesn't have that many likes, next person, and then it really does do something to you, especially because you're looking for, I mean, I like it, and I'm expecting everybody else to like it too, but they're not showing me with my double taps. Nobody's really double tapping on my stuff, so I kind of feel a way about it.
Yeah, and you get very concerned about that. And you know, as a somebody in charge of National Secondary Students Council, do you believe as well, Jamal, that a big part of the teachings, not only just the academic stuff in school, but just for us to understand and impart on our young people the importance of just self-awareness?
Well, I have to say to you, Aunt Debbie, I had this conversation this morning. I think that what we have to understand is there is a curriculum in schools, and then there's the hidden curriculum. So certain socialization skills are extremely important. So how to have a conversation. I attend the all-boys schools, and I will tell you, I have a teacher who, once you go in our com studies class, every reference she makes is, so gentlemen, if you're taking a girl out on a date, gentlemen, I know, that's the hidden curriculum, and it teaches you how to interface and the interpersonal skills that you spoke about earlier that are required to be participating and upstanding members of society.
Yeah, so you think our institutions, the socialization, spaces that we use to talk to our kids, even the online space as well, companies, etc., can jump on board in trying to ensure that we're sending out the right message in how to deal with ourselves, really, day to day, and then by extension, how we now deal with ourselves online, right? And having respect and understanding that we're all very different, and that is okay. Right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right. But let's talk about the plus side now of the internet, because I mean, you guys all have presence online. I'm sure you've met a lot of people online from all over the world. How have you managed to enjoy what access the online space gives?
I definitely believe that the online space does have a whole lot of benefits. So, like, I have friends in Latvia, the UK,
in
Germany.
Hold on there. Kijani, where you say you have friends? In where parts? Where?
Latvia.
Latvia.
Yes.
Okay, where is that?
It is closer to Ukraine, thereabout.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
But yes, just having that ability to interact with so many persons, I think it's definitely something I would have never imagined. I can talk to this person, I can have this interaction. You know, I'm a swimmer as well, so being able to interact with also swimmers from all across the world, it just definitely gives that amazing ability.
Yeah, awesome. The connection is very important, right? And we learn something new about each other every single day. Kijani, do you have any pluses about the internet use, of course?
Well, I will tell you, I think the internet is an extremely important tool when used efficiently and properly. So we were speaking earlier, and they said to me, oh, you went to the Dubai? I'm like, yeah, I went there. And when you go there, the way they use their internet is so specific that sometimes you'll be in a space and everybody just sends out a tweet or something about a national update. So those are things. Look at the pandemic, Debbie. We were able to stay home, be schooled, for those schools, of course, who were able to effectively communicate. And it was as if when we returned to the face-to-face setting, everything was as it was normal.
Yeah.
So the internet definitely does have an important asset to it.
It does, once used effectively. I love that point from you. Janae, I mean, I know we enjoy the internet, girl. We do, right?
Right. I do. One of the things that I would like to add to what Jamal had said was, about different, you get different opportunities with social media. And I think another thing that we need to talk about as well is that I've seen where a lot of people would have had businesses, small businesses, even like teenagers our age, that would have like small businesses, and they just skyrocketed through social media, and they build their brand, and they have so many different brand deals and so many different things. I'm just like, I would have never expected teenagers to be able to reach that far with social media. So we find so many different things to do with social media, and there's so many positives as well as negatives.
Yeah.
But there are positives for sure. Definitely.
Once used effectively. Now, before we wrap up as well, I mean, we have a few influencers who's going to be joining us later on for our discussion, and a few of them are already here. But I want to talk a little bit about how influencers influence our behaviors. And do you think that, there's a pressure being placed on persons who are influencers to match up to an ideal, or is it that they have a responsibility, you think, to their followers to behave in a particular manner?
I definitely believe that influencers do have a responsibility to do certain things for their followers. I think they should set an example. I think they should be cognizant of what exactly they're putting out into the world. I know a whole lot of influencers will look at things like insights on Instagram or whatever social media platform there is, and they'll know and be able to identify that they're interacting with people between the ages of probably 15 to 25, and they should be cognizant that when they're doing this is the set of persons that they're interacting with. These are their main followers.
Yeah. Kijani?
Well, studies show, David, that about 64% of our youth, which is the majority, actually do pay attention to and actually implement ideologies that are promulgated by our influencers in their day-to-day lives. So I think influencers play an extremely important part. I don't know one influencer. Well, I can tell you I could never be an influencer because I just want to sometimes do my own thing, but they have to realize that their root cause and their root word is to influence. So whatever they purport in society will actually be manifested by our youths.
Okay, Johnny, suppose I just want to use the internet, and because I post interesting content, I just go viral and everybody's now liking me. But I never applied to be an influencer.
It is not a job where you apply for.
Okay, right,
it is given and granted onto
Right.
you, and once you claim that you have to own it, it's your space, but you're also sharing a space with people.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you so much. Janae, do you have any point on the influencers and their influence on users? Yeah.
Definitely. I think a lot of influencers, as he said, they're influencers, so they influence. They have a lot of influence on young people, especially, I mean, we can talk about it because we're young ladies.
Yes.
And if you look a certain way and you project a certain thing, people are going to want to take up that certain thing, right? And it's so sad that a lot of our young ladies are so insecure because of who they would be seeing. And sometimes they try to walk in their shoes and they don't spend enough time to walk in your own lane and follow your own path, because a lot of the times, or sometimes, influencers aren't really even happy with the life that they live. So if they're not happy and you're not happy, who's going to be happy? We have to walk in our shoes and just be happy with who we are as individuals.
Yeah. All great points made, guys. I think you guys really hit the nail on the heads there. And it's so good that we're going to be having a discussion later on with a psychologist who'll be able to offer us some perspectives about, how we interpret the things that we see online, and also hearing from our influencers if they really and truly want to be held so stiff-necked, like accountable, like you're not supposed to be posting that. So we're going to be hearing a few words from them later on as well. But let me ask you, as we wrap up this segment, what do you think safer, or what do you feel safer internet use means to you?
I think safer internet use for me means that we should have a platform where we're able to just not have to deal with certain things like cyberbullying. We shouldn't be dealing with peer pressure online. I think that corporate persons and the government should actually play a significant role in achieving safer internet.
Okay, thank you.
I concur, but I think traversing the online space responsibly and in a way that will not cause harm to another. So we have, you have 4-year-olds who have tablets, so it is an internet, so it's extremely important to understand that basically, just like how we would traverse the physical space, and so if you're driving, you stay in your lane, don't honk, don't curse, you apply that same methodology of thinking to the internet use and basically carry yourself in a way that is reputable then and would not cause harm to another.
Yes, that's personal responsibility.
Personal responsibility.
Yeah,
And
Janae?
as well as personal responsibility, we're a team. We're all using the social media space together. So I have to look out for each other. It shouldn't be bullying. I shouldn't be bullying you. You shouldn't be seeing that I'm bullying him and you don't say anything to me. So we have to work together to make it safe for each other.
Yeah.
It should be fun. It shouldn't be, oh my God, I don't know what to do. It should be really fun and just relaxed space that you can do. You can go after school, during school, and all of these things that we just really have fun together. And
You're right. Thank you, Janae. What a wonderful point to wrap this up on. The internet should be fun. Thank you so much to our panelists. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to put some fire emojis and some applause emojis inside the chat section. I want to say thank you so much to Jamal Hall. Thank you for joining us, sir. President, National Secondary Students Council and student at Monroe. We also had Kijani Williams, student of Kingston College, and also Janae Francis, senior prefect at St. George's College, letting us know what's on the minds of our teenagers as we celebrate and acknowledge Safer Internet Day. Now, DJ Cryptic, have some more music on the ones and threes. Cryptic, over to you.
Grab a copy for news you can use. Jamaica Observer, every day matters.
Our news, our world, our today.
Jamaica Observer tells the news stories that matter from Portland to the Grill and points in between. Get your Daily Observer and be always ahead with reports from our team of correspondents across the country. Never miss a story. Subscribe to our print or e-paper editions at jamaicaobserver.com. Always ahead.
Grab a copy for news you can use. Jamaica Observer, every day matters.
Our news, our world, our today.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Debbie,
Yes.
what an amazing conversation just now.
Listen, I could have talked to them for at least a half an hour more. They are bright, Pitney, like them bright, bad,
Yeah, man.
or teenagers. I'm feeling very, very good about our future because when you have teenagers like that, so knowledgeable already, like, my God.
And I mean, you know, it's not like a little, you know, you have them conversation and it's a very surface level. You know how deep I was there, like.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. They
Because, and they touched on some very important parts as well, you know, because I like the fact that they were also sharing from experiences.
Yes.
You know, how they feel sometimes by looking on the internet.
Yeah.
And, you know, what that positions them to think sometimes. And if them not really grab themselves and think about it. And I think that's really some encouraging words for all those who tuned in today and, you know, are watching to understand more about Safer Internet Day.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I mean, big up to everybody who's watching online, the chat section. I could not get to read everybody's, you know, comments, but please
we got
keep
some
them
more.
coming in. You did?
We got some more. We got
Use
some
the
more coming
hashtag,
in.
guys,
Yeah, man.
so we can see it. And also to those watching on Zoom. Hi, Zoomers.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah, man. We got
welcome.
we got some of the comments came in that
Yes.
said that peer pressure is more common, and there's another one that said even though nothing is ever totally private, try always to keep your private life private.
Yes.
Hashtag Flow SID. And there were some persons coming in from Canada as well. So big up on yourself. We also had Concord in the house. We had St. Mary. We had Jonathan Grant High, and some more schools joining us as well.
Yeah, man. So that was excellent for sure. We have a game to play, don't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we have a game to play right now.
Yes.
So I believe there's going to be some icons coming up on the screen. And I think we are to guess them. This is for Zoom as well. So we have some schools joining us on Zoom. This is for our students joining us on Zoom. So you can win some really, really cool prizes courtesy of Flow.
Yes.
So yeah, let's see the first one. Okay, the
We
first
pop up
one
yet?
is...
What
let's
is that
see.
saying?
What is that saying?
Get to the Zoom chat and type it out.
Type it in quickly.
We're getting the results in real time, so let us know.
Which school going to get it? Think about it. So we have somebody there sitting down.
Yes.
Right. We have the laptop there.
And this is something that they were talking about earlier as well.
Something that we're talking about as well. There is also like a little negative sign about the word cool.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Yeah. Let's just okay.
Come on.
Next.
Come on.
To the next one.
We're going to move over to
All
the
right,
next
so
one.
this is another one. We have
All
Joel
right.
you're there.
We have another one
what's
there. All right. Come on.
So describe the signs. There's a Nike sign. There's also a heart, and there's also a
Another.
negative something where say don't do it.
And
don't do it.
And some little, you know the icons you get on Instagram when people like your
gotcha.
stuff?
Right, there we go. Can't see
When
that.
they like your stuff on Instagram. So
Right, okay. So what is that saying? Tell us exactly what that's saying. Okay, so the next one, I believe there are three of them.
I think we actually have a winner, you know.
Already for the first one?
Yeah, man.
Okay, tell me.
From Daniela Webley. Yeah, man, in the Zoom
Daniela.
chat.
So Daniela, what did she guess?
I think Daniela guessed cyberbullying is not cool from Zoom.
Hey,
Yes.
congrats, Daniela. Congrats. Anybody else? Oh, in the meantime, look at the other one. This is the third and final one. I see a plus sign there. I see someone look at them framing out a picture. And then there is a key. Yes. So, what does that say?
What does that say?
Tell us, please, and win some really cool prizes. Courtesy of Love.
Yes.
And we're a winner?
Yeah, man. Well, I think it's coming in. It's coming in. It's coming in. But, you know, Debbie, as well, you know, as we warm up for the next discussion, I think that was such just an electrifying start because, again, when it comes down to influencers and, you know, the safety of the internet, you also want to understand what really goes on in their minds. You know, should I really feel this degree of responsibility? And I think that's significant based on the conversation they had earlier with the students as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have a few really amazing, very popular, well-known influencers who are going to be joining us later on. And we can ask them these questions as well. You know, do they feel responsible for the experience and really the perception of their users? We're
still waiting on to get those questions in, by the way, you know.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll have more music, and then we're going to be ready for our next discussion. So put your answers in the chat. In the meantime, we'll soon come back.
Yes!
Grab a copy for news you can use. Jamaica Observer, every day matters.
Our news, our world, our today.
Jamaica Observer tells the news stories that matter from Portland to the Grill and points in between. Get your Daily Observer and be always ahead with reports from our team of correspondents across the country. Never miss a story. Subscribe to our print or e-paper editions at jamaicaobserver.com. Always ahead.
It's not gonna work for you. Mothers. Who keeps bringing more? I've had too many. This Virginia done me off already. I'm blamed for real, I might just say how I feel. I'm blamed for real, I might just say how I feel. Don't switch on me.
All right, we are back. Thank you, Cryptic. Beer vibes and beer music,
Listen,
we
beer
love
vibes
it.
and excitement on the stage already. So we're influencers
No, they're
influencing already.
already. Of course, grabbing hold of the moment. Guys, welcome back to the Flow Teen Summit. It's all about Safer Internet Day 2022. If you're just joining us, thank you so much for joining us. You missed a very engaging and exciting discussion earlier on with a few of our teenagers from different schools. And it was very good, right, Joel?
It was
talking about
listen,
this.
it was fantastic. And as I said earlier, it wasn't a surface level discussion. They went into it, they shared examples, and I really hope that, all the persons who are tuning in, gain something from that. I see in the chat, some of the students typing positivity is key. It's important to maintain that mindset and just, sharing all those details that has to do with it. So great discussion, and I'm sure our team of influencers right now are definitely ready to share some more on top of that and build the discussion for safer
It would not be an
internet.
online discussion, guys, if we didn't pull together some of the most popular names, faces, brands from the online market that you follow, you interact with every single day. So joining us this afternoon, we have a few of them. Joining me right now to my immediate left is the one, the only Mr. Ramesh Major on social media. Of course, big up Major and Emma and the brand and Bear Things. He's a music executive. Many persons may know him because he manages one of the biggest names out of Jamaica, Shensia, who is also very popular online as well. So, Mr. Major, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. And it's not one, it's two.
It's two, sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Influence, yeah, man.
Ding
Who was the biggest
dong.
artist? Yes,
Big
thank
up
you.
Ding, because Ding around the place too. Sorry, my apologies. I want to be a Ravens. Don't want my application to be pushed back.
Yes.
So big up Ding as well. And because, of course, it's about influencer and someone who has been toasted as the influencer of the year.
Yes.
We're very happy to have her in our presence. The one, the only China K pop girl, digital media influencer. Hi, China K.
Hi, how are you?
Landing these with Netflix and all these things. I'm just saying, influencing the right way.
Not really name dropping, really. But,
Right?
Hey.
Of course, we also have the lovely Danielle Mullings as president of the UA Mona Guild of Students. And, Danielle is a vet right here for the Flow Safer Internet Day, because she's been spreading that message and using her social platform for social impact and social good, which I love.
Yeah, man. Catch her on Twitter.
Yeah, man. Trust me.
She's there. We also have with us, and before I get to Craig, we have to make sure that we big up in the house right now. Let me tell you something, Jamaica 60 representative. Ooh. Right? She make you laugh about every single thing. The one, the only, the amazing, the most creative, Julie Mango, actress, joining us via Zoom. Hi, Julie. Julie, I don't know why I thought I was going to Julie with a mouth starch or something.
Oh, yeah. I kind of informed.
Joined us today, Julie.
Yeah, I informed upon you, Julie.
Now, of course, we had to have the conversation with a psychologist because it's about understanding how we're interpreting things and why we're interpreting things the way that we are. Craig McNally is a psychologist joining us here today. Craig, just give him a wave so that we see him.
Hey, what's up? Great to be here.
We're very happy to have you so that we can dissect, the very intricate space.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
of the online space. And, of course, we have another influencer joining us, a content creator. His name is Sing Zimmer. With us here. Hi, Sing. How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, let's dive right into it. A whole
Yes.
lot of things to talk about. I want to make full use of the time. So,
Yeah, man. We're talking about building a positive self-image in the digital age because we're there.
Yeah.
How best to do that. And the first question we kind of want to throw over, let's start with Ramesh. This is quite a pressuring one. Does the influencer have a responsibility when posting content, especially if majority of your audience is really young people?
Of course. Once you post in any media and anywhere at all, you have a lot of responsibility, especially in the type of work that you do. Say, for instance, someone like even me that, yes, I'm in entertainment, I might have it raunchy, but I still work with corporate. I have to be careful of what I post and what I do, but you still, sometimes you have to break the barrier, but at the end of the day, you still have to keep it under a certain level. When I post something where some people might think is not really proper, but at the same time, it's not illegal, so it's still okay. You understand? But it's very, very key to know your fan base and know what you're posting and exactly what time you're posting as well. Because certain posts you cannot post that in the morning, where you would have posted at late night. It's a difference. You understand?
You know, I love that you touch on that, because it's been a big discussion. And I'm sure, the panelists will agree, because some people are of the notion that, listen, your parents responsible for you. If I post something and you happen to follow me, then I don't have no responsibility over that. So I'm happy you mentioned that, because I think it's critical for persons of influence to bear that in mind. You have a young audience, what you do may influence them, and it's important to pay attention to that. And I want to bring in Chineke, because how do you then strike the balance between the online versus the real personality? Like, is there really a difference?
Well, when I first started social media, I used to try to post the best of me possible. You understand? Because, for Instagram, you want to make sure that you put your best foot forward and everything is perfect. But the moment I started being myself, Barbara, Edna, whatever you guys want to call me, the two left foot them. Once I started being myself, persons were able to relate a bit more. They could find bits and pieces in me that, they could relate to. Maybe somebody who can't dance, say, Chineke can't dance, but she's still out there do her thing. You understand? Like Debbie said, I'm a ravers in my head. You understand? In my head, I'm the best dancer ever, but realistically, the 2 foot them not work, and I'm okay with that. So once you're being yourself, I think it really gives an accurate, portray on social media so persons could see it as well.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to pose the same question to you, Mr. Singh, because, I watch a couple of your things as well. How hard is it, though, to kind of strike the balance between creating a moment that you want to go viral, but also, representing and presenting your most authentic self?
So I think that kind of comes with separating, as China was saying, your personal life and your online life. At the end of the day, you choose what you want to post, you choose how you want to be portrayed on the internet. So yes, you have your viral moments that you want to bring out there and you want to show people the best side, but at the end of the day, everybody's human, everybody has to go home, everybody sleeps, everybody eats. So I think portraying a human side as well on my channel has been something that's important to me now, more than before. So yeah, I think just portraying a more human side as well as deciding what to post, when to post. And we kind of know what's going to go viral. It's usually the dumb stuff that you post or the little things that happen here and there in the day-to-day life that goes viral. So you just have to have that balance between real life and the online life.
Yeah, and I want to throw this over to Julie as well, because Julie come with a whole heap of people,
Listen.
It's not Julie alone, Julie have several different people. So Julie, do you ever at a moment's notice kind of forget, forget who you are? Because Julie Mango is also the name that we see online, but is that, and I'm sure that's not your government name, is it?
No, my government name is Juliet Bodley, but to be honest with you, I really don't have much of a difference with my online life and my personal life. Yeah, clearly I'm not going to post too much personal stuff, but my issue is I consider myself very old school and I consider myself very outdated, and I didn't purposely try to go viral. I just posted stuff that happened in my childhood, and I realized, it was almost like a Me Too movement. Like other people say, yes, that used to happen to me too. My mother did that, and that's really what happened. So in terms of striking the balance between my personal life and my online life, I really kind of don't have that line of separation. I am just posting who I am, and as Chineke said, just being vulnerable and being your own quirky self. I think I'm very corny, and people think I am funny, and so okay, I'll take it.
No, we think you're hilarious.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
there's a degree to it.
Yeah, man. And I'm happy Debbie, raised that, because also some of the positives that also come from even just creating and being your authentic self. We see Julie Mango landing brand deals that are so in line and on brand with the characters that she, portray and display, and that's so significant, for people to pay attention to. I also want to use this opportunity to, we have our people tuned in as well on YouTube, on Facebook. We had a comment coming in from Kenisha Williams. She's bigging up the Flow Foundation Safer Internet Day, All Team Summit. God bless you all. Thanks for the blessings. Amen. And we have one coming in from Rachel from YouTube. And she's actually giving a shout out to Sing Zimmer, always representing for the youth. What an outstanding young man. Continue to shine and make a positive impact. A big part of the conversation, Debbie alluded to it earlier, the psychology behind social, the psychology behind digital, why we post. And Craig, I kind of want to get your perception in terms of how does social media behavior and modes of expression shape a teenager's self-image? Because, for example, some persons only represent a polished version, as Chanike alluded to earlier, and which may not necessarily, which is only a small percentage of their overall life. So in terms of the shaping of it, let's talk about that.
Okay, great. You know, I love what Juliet, I love what she said. She mentioned Me Too. It's like a Me Too movement, and that's kind of what's saying, and that's also what China K also said, that when young people look on these various posts, they are hoping that they will be able to say, gee, me too. But in many cases, they can't say me too. And what we're seeing in recent times is that a lot of these influencers are now putting themselves out there. They're showing other aspects of their life. I remember last year, when we had World Mental Health Day, many influencers were talking about mental health. A lot more of our influencers are talking about it and talking about the importance of getting help and talking to somebody and so on. And so young people are at that stage in development where they are trying to find themselves. They're trying to pin down who them be. They want to figure out who them are. And so what is happening is that they are taking a little bit from this person here, a little bit from that person there, and aspects that are getting this kind of collective value and this collective push. You understand? It is like the parts that are buzzing. Right? Those parts are what they're saying to themselves, oh, I need to adopt this. And so they are pulling those parts and they're making it a part of themselves because they are growing and they're trying to come into their identity and trying to define who they are. So that's how that works.
And you know, as you mentioned, that's a big part of the discussion as well, mental well-being, which we're going to touch on, you know, a little. I want to get Daniel's perspective, though, as president of the biggest university in the country, the Caribbean. Curating that digital space and managing digital footprint. You know, we talk about footprint, we talk about different, you know, the route you're taking and how that may affect you down the line. I want to get your perspective on that because I think sometimes our young people forget that they start to create their digital footprint as early as you get a phone or as early as they join a social media platform. Talk to us about that.
That's an excellent point, Joel, because I think there are many persons who say, you know what, this is my space. I'm going to post whatever I want. There are no limitations. There are no boundaries. I can do whatever it is. Not recognizing that we now have a space in which employers, organizations, persons looking for brand deals, persons looking to associate themselves with you, which you could get money from. It could be a monetary benefit, right? Everybody's looking to see, does this person represent what I represent? Now, there will be moments where it doesn't, and that's fine if it doesn't clash, right? But you have to ensure that whatever you're putting out today, you're fine if it follows you 5 years later. Because the reality is, you can delete something today, but it is still there somewhere in the web. Somebody can pull it back up with one of those web archivals, you know? So it's very easy to lose yourself sometimes because you want to go viral or you want to be the person that everybody likes and you can get lost in that perception there. But it's important to have that longevity and say, what is my 5-year plan or even my 3-year plan, and how can what I post today and what I represent there be an accurate representation of who I am in the real life as well?
Yeah,
you know, one of the other things as well is the whole idea of cancel culture online. And the minute an influencer would say something that we may not be in agreement with, there's no grace, there's no empathy, there is, you know, me say, you know what I mean? There is, we're done with him. That is it, cut him off of the internet, get Instagram, their Instagram reports. You know what I mean? Let's talk about cancel culture though, because it is very strong. We've seen, you know, persons get canceled online before, and it's hard to resurrect. Ramesh, I'm sure you have someone that directed your ways.
Well, listen, remember social media is millions of people, right? And in anything we do in life, you have good and you have bad. Right? You have a lot of people come on and back social media, but to me, I think social media is very great because a businessman, back then, growing up, when they used to listen to music, it may be that take a year for our music crossover and reach international. Now, because of social media platforms, in a week, that song can go every inch in the world. You understand? So, to me, I am a person that I really love the social media, but again, boy, if I post something and the mass don't agree with it, them deal with wicked.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? and it hurts sometimes, you know, because we're a human being.
That's what I'm going to get out.
But
Thank you, Ramesh.
no matter how you go and big bad, I mean, I say, oh, my page, I'm in a really business, and we have feelings.
Yeah, so you
understand?
feel it.
Because sometimes I knock me bad at me. Because how them deal with it, you understand? But any idea, as you say, we're a human being, we have feelings, me as a person, like, I'm not ashamed. So anything I post, if people want to bash me or laugh, nothing to me.
Yeah.
Once, you know, but I have an idea people really need to understand we're still human beings. If there's certain things that you comment, and you know, the only thing on social media I wish could go away is the fake profile.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, man. We're talking about the bots, them. You tweet something, people, they be on one post or one dog, you know, before them, you know, send over whatever it is that they want to do.
Followers. This page just made 10 seconds ago to comment. Oh,
something significant happened, and you just see the pages them crawl out. But also, that's a part of what digital has done. And again, a part of the conversation around Safer Internet Day, it has to do with that as well. How do you safeguard yourself against those trolls? You know, the trolling, the fake accounts. And you see it there. You know what I mean?
Them, yeah.
It's crazy, but you know, Ramesh, you touched on a very significant point, the entrepreneurship side of it. And Chineke, I think you're probably one of the perfect persons to talk about, you know, the job opportunities that can come from social through the brand that you build, and sometimes some unexpected brand deals that you just create because you love it, and something just drop in your lap. You know, talk to us about your thoughts with that, because that is important for them to know.
Well, when it comes to social media, I am very big at it. And like Remy said, the possibilities of the reach is endless. It's worldwide. You never know who is watching your content. And as somebody that started a business, especially now in the digital age, for me, social media is very important as an entrepreneur when it comes to Jolie Fair, and it's very important to Chineke Pop Girl, the personality, and the influencer. So you could get so many different persons wanting to try your product. You know, it leads you to get sales, to drive traffic from your social media pages to your website, and that's, you know, that equals sales. And for Chineke personally, it leads to brand deals, to more recognition. It could get your work out there a little bit more. So I do love social media when it comes to that sense as far as a business. What I tend to get in my message is a lot of messages from young people saying, how can I do this? How can I push my brand? And I just tell them it is absolutely limitless when it comes to being on the social media platform. Be yourself, post your brand or service, even if you don't think it's good, and you never know where it might reach. You might get a sale, and it's important to be yourself in the sense that some people, when they buy my product, they don't know if it really works. Them say, you know what, I like Chineke, I like our vibes, I follow her, I like what she do, I go buy our thing. You understand? So once you just create that positivity online, it's endless when it comes to your personality and also to sales in your business.
Yeah, and I can testify, Jolie Fair works. That's one of the things. See how seriously it does. Julie, I mean, let's talk about you and your ability as well to kind of merge your brand with you know, the entrepreneurship side, because I think now you're focused on that. I mean, I see you representing for a number of different brands online as well. So let's talk about the vast opportunities that are there. And it's so crazy because you'd think, you know, how does Julie Mango's skits fit into this corporate message? You know what I mean? Like, how does she sell popcorn, and then through her popcorn messaging, I get to understand she's talking about different banks and what they're charging. You know what I mean?
You know what, really, before I think of doing an ad, I always think of providing value, because people come to my page for many, many different reasons based on the DMs that I get. People come on my page to get their happy laugh for the day, to help them to go through a period. People lose their fathers or their family members, they had a loss, and they come to my page to just get that laugh, to just get that feel good. And so at first I didn't want to do any ads because I felt like I was betraying the audience. And then I realized that if I have to keep on doing skits, I'm gonna have to eat. I'd have to quit my full-time job, which I did last year, November. So I said, okay, if I can't find, you know, I'm going to do not much ads, but I'm going to try to do them. And when I'm doing an ad, the first thing I want to provide is value. I want to provide entertainment before the product. And I tell everybody that I'm doing ads for that. I'm not going to be taught, I'm not going to call the name of your product in my skit unless I really, really have to. And so you are able to be an entrepreneur. You just have to know what your followers want. You just have to understand your audience, because at the end of the day, your business is providing value. It's helping people. And people will buy what you talk about because they believe in you, not because they believe in the product. So I have people believe in me, and it's very scary. And so I have to make sure whatever I put out is when a person watches it, even if it's an ad, they feel better just because they watched it.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much for that point, Julie, for sure. And it's about how we feel good about the things that we are consuming. I want to move the conversation now to how we have been influenced by the things that we consume online. I mean, this has been happening now for years. Our culture has always played a part in how we show up daily. You know, 1 minute we wear pants down there, so then chronics come and say, I'm the only man with pants for waist, and we drop back with pants. And, you know, it has always been that case where, especially in online, where we have these different images coming up, you know, about what is cool and hot and trendy. Danielle, Craig, let me bring in the conversation here, because you're a psychologist and you can tell us now about the influence, you know, of that, what we see online and how we know, carry over now into how we perceive ourselves as okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So in psychology, there's this thinking that a lot of who we are was inherited from the Homo sapiens. So, you know, it come from far. And there's this thinking that there is a collective, and that we survive in a collective. We survive in community. And to be ostracized from the community, to be thrust out, to be thrown out, means that we could possibly die. And we don't want to die. We don't want to be ostracized. And so when we cancel people, what we're essentially doing is we are ostracizing them. It's modern day ostracizing people, ostracism. And so what's happening is that we don't want to be on the outside. And so whatever it takes, we are seeing the things that are getting the likes, that are getting the shares. We're seeing the things that are affirmed. And what that communicates to us is, this is good, and I want this. And so to be good and to not be thrown out, we're going to do whatever it takes, because we want to be received. We want to be accepted and to be a part of the collective. So I do think that that is what drives it for the most part.
Yeah.
And you know, it's even driving that type of interest. There's also another driving force in terms of vanity metrics, as we call them. You know, the likes, the comments, the shares, how many people repost it to your stories and all of that. And seeing, for you as a creator, you know, a big part of it, you know, we're talking about the brandies, we're talking about some of the things that brands even look forward to from influencers when they want to partner. And a big part of it is engagement rate and the likes and all of them things there. As a young creator, how do you work around that? You want to create value to your audience, but how do you avoid getting tangled into how many views you may get or how many likes you may get? And why is that important for our young viewers to understand the importance of that?
That's such a weighted question. You mentioned like 10 things at once.
Yeah.
But,
because it's so much.
I think the biggest thing about social media is to detach yourself from the numbers and do what makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, if you're happy, then it shouldn't matter how much likes you get. It shouldn't matter how much brand deals you get, because at the end of the day, you're happy. And I think your happiness and your time is much more valuable than whatever monetary value any company can pay you. So for me personally, I've begun to detach myself more from the engagement, from the statistics, from the numbers and everything, and just be more true to myself and embrace myself more, you know, become a true version of Jonathan Singh rather than the Singh Zimmer that everybody sees online. And I think becoming more of myself has push me to another level. You know, I'm shooting up, so
yeah,
that's a part of it.
I think the word he's looking for is authentic.
That's authentic.
I don't want to fake it. I don't want to push out this image of myself that I'm not. I don't want to pretend to be somebody that I'm not. So in that, you just have to detach yourself. And detaching yourself is kind of the key for me personally.
I love that. And one of the things I enjoy about our young people nowadays is that we are becoming more accepting about just who we are as we are. You know, I mean, there's still some pressure, yes, online. But a lot of the young people I'm finding now, talking to them in high schools, like they love themselves for who they are right now, you know. One of the things I enjoyed about being on campus as well at UWI is just the vast amount of people from different walks of life that were there, from different cultural backgrounds, and we were able to learn about each other. Daniel, and you can talk to us a little bit about that, about being in a diverse space, like the University of the West Indies, and not get drawn into wanting to be anything other than yourself, you know? Yeah.
I'll tell you what, there are two perspectives that I have on that, and one would be as a student, and the second would be as a student leader, right? And so I think as a regular student, you're going to be saying to yourself, okay, how do I differentiate myself from everyone who is here? Because everybody has something. You're going to have the cricketers, you have the people who play music, you have the pan-reading people who do the steel pan and thing, and you're like, which group do I identify with? Which is what you mentioned earlier with respect to wanting to be a part of a group.
A collective, right.
A collective, exactly. But Julie mentioned something earlier. You know, when she said, when she's doing her brand deals, she says to them, I'm not going to mention, you know, the name of your organization or so on. I'm going to focus on what I want to do, which is provide value. And so it comes back to this idea of compromise. What is your compromise? What boundaries can you set? And to what extent is it that you can engage with others or hear their ideas, but also not take it on as your own per se? So that's one side to it. Now, as a student leader, it is very easy to get canceled in this space. One wrong move, one thing that, you know, the university or somebody does, and everybody is up in arms with it. And so it is very important for you also not to get, you know, lost in that brand and that idea of, oh, I want to be liked by everybody, because you can't be liked by everybody. You have to figure out your delineation, who you are, and what you absolutely cannot compromise on for the public good.
Yeah.
That's, listen, that's so profound. We have a question here from our chat. You know, the young people are really tuned in and listening to this. And one of the questions is, what do you think about the internalization of society's expectation of beauty among teens because of social media? That's a very good one and a topical one. You know, probably I want to throw this over to China K. How do you even, you know, ensure that what you're doing, again, the authenticity, you're sticking to, you're abiding by that. And for the younger girls who may follow you and looking up to that, you know, how the internalization side of it, you know.
Well, like I said, it's very important to be yourself, and what you put out on the social space is authentic. I think that's the word we're going to go for today. Authentic. Because that's very important, especially for young girls and, you know, teenagers that are watching our pages and looking up to it. It's very important to portray that, you know, you can be yourself on the social media space and be accepted. You know, that's the only you're you. You know what I mean? You can't be anybody else but you, or take from other personalities to be you. So it's very important to portray that on the social media space. Just be yourself.
Yeah. I want to bring in Ramesh here, because Ramesh manages, again, one of the brands that is like a template for beauty. You know? It's like, like we're going to have a real conversation, right? I mean, she sings about it. One of the most popular songs is the Dahlia song, of course. And so we often wonder, okay, I mean, this pressure, is it, you know, a signal of pressuring our young people to look like a dolly? But the same Shensia is going to come on live, coming out of bed with her hair fuzzy.
Exactly.
And she's just going to be herself 100%.
She have one different story. She don't listen to them. She work on how she feel. If she feel like she want glam up today, she got glam. And if she feel like we are traveling, I have to say, brother, you're an artist, you can't go through one airport look. So she just get the stock cap in CM when she draw, she brush her teeth, gone.
Yeah.
And then the next day, take long to get ready. But again, it just depends on the person that you are. Remember, again, we have to tell the people, especially younger people, that social media, again, and everything that we're talking about, summarizing this, social media is what you're doing with it. Like, remember, he's someone that them hack and them stuff. So he might go take away himself from the likes and the this and the that. But if I am a business person that is looking forward for sales, I want to see those numbers. So again, it just still come back when we are talking about beauty, the girls, and they say, I have some people where I've seen it. I've seen people that even, remember, I have a promotional company. I've seen girls that say, Ramesh, I want to join the team. And I look and I say, Jesus Christ. And when them come, it's a total different person. You understand? So people need to stop going out and selling who they are not really. Because you have a person where I am brown, and then when you edit you, I'm pink. You get me? I say, so you just have to be logical, and who you are still show that. So it's like if me get up now and say, yo, me I go outside, I'm just going to be me today, fine. But when I'm going out to glam, then you know, you go out, you can change your image and have a little look. But people just really make this fake person that it don't make no sense because you're not, no matter how you're there on social media, you still have to come out, you know. People still have to see you, people still have to communicate with you. So them are going to know the truth. So in everything the whole summary, stop sell a lie.
Yeah. And relatability is very important. You know what I mean? Like, we must be able, as China K said as well, to see ourselves in what you're posting. You know what I mean? When China K shows Shellway, you know what I mean? I was like, I can so relate to dry rats happening and, you know, taking over you.
I must say, before I even got to that point, I think my very first video that I ever posted that showed, like, me, right? I was in the States with Benz, a.k.a. my mom, and she put me down on 90. Now, a 90 is a universal Jamaican thing, a grandma thing, a thing where you have on. And I was like, no, man, me a hot girl, China K, like, I can't go to bed in a 90, like, me a hot girl. But, you know, to home, when you're with your parents and grandma, you carry where them grow and, you know, wash your clothes and them something there. And I made a video and I said, people, you know, China K, a hot girl. Look what Ben's put me. Look what my mother put me now. And I posted it like at 10. And I'm like, this is really kind of vulnerable. Because, you know, you're a hot girl in a 90. And almost like immediately when I posted it, hundreds of comments and just likes and saying, you know, I like this. And my mom saying, like, China K is a keep your body warm 90. And everybody is telling me, like, I need to sell a keep your body warm 90. And it was just so shocking because that was my very first time, like, being myself, showing me in a granny 90. Again, I just want to let everybody know, you know, I'm a hot girl, but I was in a 90. And I was like, everybody liked it. And I was being myself. And people like that. However, I'm not mad at the fact that if you want to be a dolly, and when I say a dolly, I mean in the sense like, put yourself together so you can feel nice. You know what I'm saying? Put on a little lipstick, you know, throw on your wig if you'd like. And even for the guys, like, put on, you know, your nice clothes and your nice shoes. There's nothing wrong with fixing up yourself to reminding yourself that you were a baddie. You understand?
And of course.
That's what, I mean, I don't know if that's for the guys, but, you know, for us ladies, that we're a baddie. You understand? And there's nothing wrong with dressing up and, you know, fix up yourself. But when you start doing...
Oh God, the filter part, boy, the filter part, that one's a big discussion as well.
We feel glam and want to, you know, fix up, but, you know, throw on a little filter.
A little sepia, you look
not mad at that,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but it's good to not get lost. Still be yourself, even when you fix up yourself and look nice. Still be that authentic. And that's okay.
And I mean, with so many things, you know, bombarding the space as well and trying to maneuver around and get a better understanding. I want to get from Julie Mango. You are a huge mental health advocate. And, you know, I really want to commend you because you also use your page to promote this and talk about it all the time. You know, sometimes you may have influencers who have an aesthetic and they don't want to throw off the aesthetic and all them kind of stuff. But you are a part of, you know, the knowledge you want to share and mix it in with your content. How can one protect their mental health on social media, especially for our younger audience listening right now, watching right now, you know, as they continue to scroll? Because sometimes when you get your screen time, it's bizarre. How do we protect our mental health on social media?
I mean, you have to curate your feed and be careful of the things that you are looking at. But it doesn't really start from there. It starts from who you are as a person. So the first thing you can do is to know who you are and to know your triggers, to know what will make you feel a certain way. If you're following a page, if they post something, it continuously makes you feel bad, then stop following that page. If you're getting negative comments or people are commenting on your feed and saying bad things to you, block that account, block and delete that account. If you're looking at Instagram beauties then, right? Or persons who do a lot of, and I'm not speaking badly about anybody who does body surgery or anything like that. I would if I could afford it, cause I'm trying to do abs from when I'm my belly can't get up. I love somebody sponsor me a tummy tuck right about now. I mean, I have no fitness, so it's embarrassing that my belly big and me not have no kids. But what I'm saying is that if when somebody posts something, a beautiful picture or whatever, and it affects you, then don't follow that person anymore. Essentially, fundamentally, you have to understand even before going on social media that the fact that you are born, you are beautiful. The Bible tells us that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that I like equations. So before the made, there is fearfully and there is wonderfully. So fearfully plus wonderfully equals made. And so if you were made, if you were the sperm that made it to that egg and you are now a person, then you are beautiful because you are fearfully and wonderfully made. There's nothing that says you're half make. And so you want to start from a point of, I am in existence. When you touch me, energy is not lost or destroyed, but moves from one form to another. So I am in the form of a physical human being. And because that is so, I am already beautiful. Now, social media is a form of entertainment, and you have to understand the difference between entertainment and guidance. Entertainment is for laughter. It's for entertainment. You see a beautiful model. She do her bottom. She do her breasts. She look nice. You know if you bad mind her. She do her thing. She's an Instagram model. You don't expect her to do her bottom. And we have to understand that that's entertainment. Guidance is something different. Guidance is something that tells you how to live, how to think, how to correct yourself, how to eat. And you don't get that from everything on social media. So it has to come from a standpoint of self. Understand who you are and understand that just because you exist, you are beautiful, you are valued. And then anything that affects your mental health or cause you to feel no way, block, delete, avoid. If you can't avoid it, then find a different way to look at it. Find a different perspective. If you need help, get a therapist to help you. Don't be afraid of social media. Don't be afraid to look at things. Don't be afraid to explore the technology. Don't be afraid to go out there and view what's going on, because fear is only going to keep you in a box or in a cage. But if you feel some type of way, get therapy, get someone to help you to process all these things, because it's not going to stop. And negativity has always existed. It's only in a different medium now. It's in a medium of social media. But back in the days when I was a kid and there was no internet, negativity was with your church sisters, or your schoolmate, or the person that beat you up at evening time. One day named Richard Kelly used to beat me up every evening, and me like idiot used to go look for him and say, Richard, it's time for you to beat me up now. And he beat me up and then me go. And so what we're experiencing is nothing new. So it starts from self, understanding yourself. And me know so me chat enough, so I'm going to stop now.
Yeah. Julie, no, let me tell you, Julie, I want to give you a round of applause because that was beautiful. Listen, I could have taken up an offering plate right now and just ask for your offering. No, honestly, no, seriously.
No, man, that was good.
You know what I mean?
I love the authenticity of the conversation.
It's so good.
See, authenticity,
So
hashtag
good.
authenticity. Yeah, man, yeah, man.
Yeah, so what we're going to do now is that we're going to open the floor for some questions and answers. So go ahead and drop your questions inside the chat, please.
Yeah.
And we're going to take them. We have a few there already.
Yeah, man, I think I see one from Michaela. She's asking, why do parents always blame our phones for everything or when something unpleasant happens? So the first thing is like, come off of the phone. I mean, we all get that sometimes. Ramesh.
I think the reason for that, if you really notice, as we wake up a man, the first thing we do is take up our phone. As we get a break, we have a phone. So to them now, them are going to say, all right, then during the day, when we get time, we sleep, then we get up now, we eat, we go to school, we do everything. So the only free time we get to them on our phone. So them are just blame the phone. Me do it. If me see Raj do something bad, I'm going to say, yo, a YouTube you're watching on it cause that. So I think that's the reason.
Yeah.
What do you think, Johnny?
I agree. I mean, I'm guilty of this when I roll over, I squint for see the notifications. But that's also because I'm a businesswoman, okay? Let's put that out there. I have to see the emails that come in, but not the emails that come in when you wake up. You know, sales and stuff like that. So that's my excuse.
We have any more questions?
I think we have a good question here.
Okay.
Daniel, how do you manage your time between work and life? So how do you manage being a full-time student, a full-time student leader, a full-time influencer, because you are doing some fantastic work in the community, and being a voice of reason? How do you balance that time?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's difficult. I think one thing that social media has as a perception is that it's easy and you just go from one to the other. Before I came in here, I was on a UE meeting ensuring that you're representing the voice of the students. And so I think one thing it requires is adaptability. And in order to be able to be adaptable and move from one thing to the other, you first have to ensure that you understand and completely know your materials, and that comes from doing the groundwork. So after social media posts or stuff that you may see me doing in the day, in the night I'm doing my research. I'm doing the surveys for the student body. I'm contacting all the persons that need to be contacted so that when the next day is about to start, and I know I have 4 objectives for the day, I can hit off each one and definitely get it done. The other thing I would say is the internet is more than social media, right? We also have productivity tools that can be used. So we're looking at the Google Calendar. Mine has about 7 different colors. I have a color for everything. The Guild is one. You know, any work that I do in TV hosting is another one. Community work, everything is clearly detailed. So I can look at my week and say, okay, my week is very red. A lot of Guild work this week. My week is very pink. I have some relaxation or so on in it. So it's all about learning how to manage yourself and using the internet to also help you.
Yeah, there's a question I wanted us to pull on. The question is, and I don't see exactly who posted the question, but the question is, does an influencer have to post every single day? Nope. Like, what if you're sad and don't want to post?
Sing definitely out with that one.
Nope.
No. Sing, do we need to post every day?
Sing, come on, tell me, is it pressuring at 3 posts per day?
The thing is, I mean, the algorithm says that you should post X amount of times, or people always say, oh, if you're doing this, then you have to. You don't have to post anything. You can post whenever you feel like. At the end of the day, it's your social platform. I feel like as an influencer, though, you kind of have this image to maintain, or this level of consistency that you have to keep up. But as Ramesh was saying earlier, we're humans too. So there are days where I do feel down, or I feel like, yo, I even want to go up on my phone right now. So we're not obligated to, and nobody's obligated to anything. Do what makes you happy. I mean, yeah, you do have your obligations to meet, but at the end of the day, your mental comes first. So put that first, and then you'll be good. You'll be golden, I feel like. A lot of people feel forced to post or forced content, and forced content isn't the best content.
Yeah, very good point.
We see a very funny comment coming in from social. I could be sick and dying in my room, and them says the phone, meaning the parents, saying there's a really phone causing that. But there's a very significant question here as well. Craig, you could probably answer this one. So social media can be very overwhelming with persons forcing their opinions and expectations onto you. How can one become detached from the pressure, and what steps can they take to get to a point where the comments and opinions of others don't really cause severe damage?
That's a big question.
Yep.
What was the expression you used? Weighted. That's a weighted question. I love that. I'm going to keep it. I think Julie said it when you asked her about mental health earlier, and she commented that it really begins with you, and it begins with you knowing who you are. It begins with you knowing your values, what is important to you. What I think we are uncovering here today is that social media is like throwing yourselves to the wolves. And you don't want to throw yourselves to the wolves. Or at least if you're going to do it, dress properly for it so that they can't bite you up and so on. I hope you get the idea I'm saying. In other words, there's a lot that's out there. And if you do come across something that causes you to think, because hopefully the posts that you are seeing are, triggering you to think about your life and think about your future and think about what you're doing right now and your goals and dreams and so on. But if there is something that you come across that you are unsure about, you should hopefully have somebody who you can run it by, who you can talk to about it and say, hey, I saw this. What do you think about this? Let me know your thoughts about it. And then there's just some stuff out there that is not age appropriate. And you just have to curate. So just as there are some social media influencers who curate what you see, you also have to curate, edit, cut, block, mute, and do unfollow. You have a right to do all of those things. Which is the other thing. If you remember that you have rights online. It's not just this big open field. You have rights. You have the right to report something. You have the right to, like I said, unfollow. You have the right to mute. So just as how you choose who your friends are in public, you also have a right online to choose who you follow or who you friend or what you want to see exactly. It works the same way. You have rights. Use your rights.
Yeah, very, very good point there. I love that. And moving to a question that I think is good about setting up boundaries and more, really. Tashi Baby _August 7. It's a comment, really, but you can find the question in it, Ramesh. I'm going to give you this one. Saying, the elders weigh us down as teens. To be specific, persons in dancehall we look up to, they're not doing what's right or what we may expect of them. Too much feud, crime, and corona kill we off.
But look at it this way. Are the same people them what we consider as the followers are them build the feud, you know? Because if an artist posts something and our next artist don't support it, or our next artist don't repost it, or our next artist just ignore it completely, then all of us them say, yo, you know, so the artist don't like this. It's like they are caught up with so much stuff. You don't like this, you don't follow that person, you don't do this, you don't do that. That means you don't like them and you don't support them. So to me, I'm going to be honest, the followers and the people them are them more instigate all of the negativity.
Yeah, so is there a need then to just agree that we can disagree?
Yeah, they know I feel
yeah.
They're me not must like China K, but me still have to deal with her and respect her and love what she do, but me not have to follow her and we not have to do that.
Yeah.
You understand? So again, we at social media again, we portray something that maybe even when you go behind closed doors, maybe those two artists are them two people are them good.
A friend, right?
You get me? So because again, negativity in some ways portray promotion for artists. You get me? I say? So if you look on it then back then, Beanie and Bunty are good. That's the point, they're the biggest, and once they become friends, they...
It's like a... It's like a flat, it's like a whole new page.
I just follow us them sometimes is the problem. Not us as the entertainers.
Yeah. So which means you know that's wisdom to understand. You know, or young folks, that's wisdom to understand that not everything you see is so it go.
Exactly.
Curate your space and have a better understanding of why you're even on the platform and utilizing it. Because I think sometimes we just join things because our friends may be on it and we don't have an understanding of what really goes on the platform. So you have to have a better understanding of why you use it, why you're there, you know, what exactly it is that you want to learn from it, what value you can bring. Because again, we're talking about Safer Internet Day. We're talking about young people making use of the internet. We're talking about Gen Z and so many persons who are 12, 13, 15, mega, they might make enough money because they found probably something exciting that reaches out to other young people. There's a young guy that does the toy review on YouTube, bringing in like millions of dollars. You have everybody in all the kids them watching that. So it's important for you to curate your space and understand why you even join Facebook or Twitter, why you depend on it.
Exactly. What value is it adding to your life?
Real quick, Debbie, I think what people fail to realize is us as influencers, we put on the social space what we want you to see. You understand? So when I do my daily vlogs, it says, come along with me for part of my day. That's not my entire day. We pick and choose what we want to put on the social media space, and not everything we post needs an explanation, a detailed explanation to what we put. And like Ramesh said, sometimes it's, well, majority of the time, it's persons going back and forth. No, man, she did have on a yellow shirt the other day, and somebody said, no, man, it did blue. And you just met them down there arguing or whatever. You don't have to go back and forth with them because we post what we would like you to see.
Yeah. There's a question here coming in. Why is it that as an influencer, you put your life out there, and when criticism comes, it's an issue?
Ramesh, you want to take that one?
Me again? Yeah. Well, you know that, well, so we have to answer. But honestly, yeah, sometimes people say that they're free to make an opinion. Sure, but when you make an opinion under my post and I comment back on your opinion, I'm making my opinion too. I'm still a human being, so I'm allowed to say something about that. But people always say if you comment something negative or that, them say, yo, you're thin skin, or you're not for post up this, you shouldn't say that, I don't need the media. Again, it still come back to what I said, we're still human beings. Although you have Ramesh Entertainment, Ramesh Major is still the person. So we still have feelings and we still go and see stuff. So the people, again, no matter where you want to see the page, if it name machine, if it name anything, it's still run by a human being.
Another part to that I'd like to add is that at the end of the day, it's engagement. So even him just commenting on his own post is engagement for him, and people start a conversation based on what he says, start a whole thread. Even though him do business, he might not business, but he'll say something to start a conversation.
Yeah.
So that's a part of it too. So they might think that we care, which we do sometimes, but sometimes it's just for engagement as well, and nothing is wrong with that. It's just a part of the business.
On that point too, different from certain things, like I'm talking on a music standpoint. The more they talk, is the better your music do. Even if them are say negative or positive, once they are talking, it's doing something good. But a couple years ago, Beanie Man always tell me, said, in entertainment, no negativity is negative. He said negativity bring more shows, more talk, more push, more everything. So in a music world, the more people talk, even if they're bash you, the better for you.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't need to answer everybody. Or everything.
If I could just jump in here. It's important. I think, too, that as social influencers, you can model the type of respectful posting that we want to see people doing. So we don't talk about respect a lot in Jamaica. We talk a lot about disrespect. And apparently it's a cool thing to be able to disrespect somebody. Yo, me diss the boy, or the boy diss me, We don't talk about respect and, I dealt with that situation in a very respectful manner. Or, so-and-so treated me very respectfully. We don't talk about that, right? We talk about disrespect. So I think that what would be good is when social influencers are bombarded by disrespectful comments, responding to those comments in a respectful way actually models and in many cases deflates a lot of the negativity. So for example, if you post something and say, boy, yeah, biggie, man, you can respond to it in a respectful way. I say, thank you so much for commenting on the size of my head. Personally, I agree with you. I think I have a big head. But guess what? It's the head I did born with, right? And I can't do anything about it. But thanks for commenting. Have you seen my video where I talked about so-and-so? And redirect it. Make it positive. But we have to, well, I say we like I'm an influencer. Well, I guess I'm a type of influencer. But you guys, what you can really do is model it for them so that, they can see the respectful way to deal with those things and don't follow it up.
Yeah.
And say, no.
And there's always the block button. That's just there.
I think, that's
like there's a beautiful delete button, block, report. All those buttons are there.
Before we... Yes, Julie.
Different from cancel, exactly.
A big part of the discussion as well, which I wanted to tap into, is the position that influencers and thought leaders across social also have when it comes down to social impact, right? So we talk about social impact in terms of probably advocating for things outside of your immediate work that you do. So whether there's a campaign that you want to join talking about crime, or there's big discussions around ending certain practices, political discussions. How do you think there's a position that influencers should take on that? Because I know a lot of young people also want to know, like, do you support, climate change? Do you support, the mining discussions taking place on social? Should influencers take a position on things to do with social impact? Let me start with you, Daniel.
Yes, I definitely think we should. But the more important question or aspect of it is, have you done your research before you engage in these conversations? Because I do think that there's some influencers, or just people generally speaking, that are responding based on the information you see on Twitter. And that's not the full story. Twitter now has this feature where if you're retweeting something that has a link and you haven't actually read it, it says, would you like to read it first before you comment on it? Exactly that. So it's a vibe where you have to ensure that whatever you are putting out is from a research research. It can be your opinion, that's completely fine, but ensure that you have as much facts as possible before you put it out, because the reality is there are persons looking up to you. There are persons who see you as probably their primary source of information, which is not necessarily correct, but you still have a responsibility in that because you have taken on this position as an influencer.
Yep, and again, Safer Internet Day, we're talking about not reading before you talk and researching before you retweet. I think sometimes as well, and not just talking about influencers, but people falling in traps when it comes down to not simply not just reading and finding out information. We have this thing for young people who may be on Twitter and see what's happening now and then, where there's this thing called ratio, where a tweet is there and there's like 300 ratios to the tweet, and then sometimes you read through it and you're like, did you even read the article to have an opinion formed on something? But that's what social media does, and it's critical for young people to understand that and also work within the best practices of it, because you may fall to cyberbullying. That's not something that you can control, but you may say something out of line and you just didn't read. The other day, a young lady tweeted something about a brand, and she had to come back on Twitter to talk about defamation and how she was wrong, because she said maggot, the people in food, and it's not maggot. It was a part of the whatever that's there. Yes. And you have to understand young people. You have to understand the importance of just thinking before you tweet. Think before you post. Identify why you're using a platform. And as Julie said and everybody else, curate your space. You're on it. You will be bombarded by, let us even not even talk about the ads. You'll be bombarded by so many things, but young people, you have to think about what you're doing before you share your thoughts, and before you even think about who to follow and why you're following them.
Yeah, and very importantly as well, and our panelists, they've echoed the sentiment as well, the importance of knowing yourself. It's so important to understand who you are and the things that make you move and the things that don't make you move, and be unapologetic about standing by those boundaries as well. I mean, there's nothing at all wrong with you once creating those boundaries, because the fact is that the internet is here to stay. It's not going anywhere, and in fact, it's going to get bigger, and more things are going to be happening in the space, and then a lot more things in terms of how we move and get access to things are going to only be on that space eventually. And so it's so important for us to develop our own selves so that we're able to manage ourselves well in that space, exercise empathy, respect for the very diverse world that we live in, and understand that it is very much okay that we're all not the same. We did not come out of a factory on a conveyor belt, and so we must be able to really embrace each other's uniqueness, and give space and room for expression thereof. So yeah, that's very, very important for Safer Internet Day. Guys, this has been fantastic. Please allow us to thank our panelists, please, for joining us here this afternoon. Give them a round of applause inside the chat section.
Send some hands, round of applause in the chat.
Yeah, okay, we have more things to talk about too.
I love that. I mean, we're getting some more questions coming in. We just mentioned the social impact side of it. I'm happy that we have a little bit more time, but there's a question here now. How can one get help with their mental health when it really isn't spoken about in the Jamaican household? There are different types of mental illnesses that may seem normal, but later may escalate. So let's talk about mental health. Where do we go for help? Julie Mango, I may want to bring you in here because I know you're a big advocate for that. And I also know, Daniel, you direct a lot of students to use certain services as well. Julie, where do they go for help?
I want to start by where you don't go.
Yes.
The internet.
Yeah.
Because there is a culture, there is a culture now where, because the whole term mental health is a buzz, which is good, with every leaf comes drag. And what's happening is that everyone is on the whole mental health train, and persons are making videos about it. People who are not Craig, meaning not a trained psychologist, not a trained therapist, they're going and making videos and saying, 5 ways to know if you have borderline personality disorder. Number 1, this, that. And they are not trained. And so you watch those things and you self-diagnose. Self-diagnosis is a disease and it has to stop. So the first thing you don't do is to self-diagnose. Don't do that. If you feel away, if you feel depressed, if you feel like you want to kill yourself, if you feel like you are a loser or something is just not right, then the first thing you want to do is to tell a trusted friend. And let that friend help you to find a licensed therapist not a pastor, not a counselor, not a guidance counselor. If you're having a mental health issue, a mental illness, only a licensed therapist can assist you. You are playing with your life if you go to a counselor. I am a life coach, and if somebody comes to me and their issue is something that a therapist can do, I say, hey, listen, don't give me your money. Here's a list of therapists, reach out to them. And so if you are I'm a chat love, so I'm gonna wrap it up real quick. If you have an issue, you don't feel too good in your head, talk to a licensed therapist, and Mr. Craig can tell you which part to find them.
Right. Over to you, Mr. Craig. Where can we find these licensed therapists and psychologists?
So only within, say, the past 3 years in Jamaica have we really begun to professionalize the offering of mental health services. And what we're doing now is we are saying to persons, look, I know everybody out there will say them know about brain, right? Know how the brain things work, right? And so it is important that if you are going to a professional, mental health professional, that you go to somebody who is licensed, right? And there are many different types of licensed mental health professionals. However, I do want to also say that the fact is that in Jamaica, mental health services are expensive. They are so expensive. But the Ministry of Health, through the Child Guidance Clinic, does provide counseling services to children. And by children, I mean teenagers too, right? You're not 18. Well, certainly if you're not over 18, you can access those services. And the type of training that a guidance counselor receives is different from that of a licensed therapist, but guidance counselors are there. They are accessible. And they are there in the schools. And so if you do have access to your guidance counselor, go to your guidance counselor, and he or she will refer you to someone else if your needs are outside of their competence. Now, if I could flip this just a little bit, I'd like to just highlight how you identify if somebody is in need of mental health services, especially online. So, a pet peeve of mine, I'll admit it, a pet peeve of mine is when I go on social media and somebody types and somebody posts, "You will forever be in my heart. Goodbye." We are talking about what happened? And so it's just a pet peeve of mine, all right? So, but really what those people are doing is that they're reaching out and they're trying to say to you on their page, something has happened to me. Would you please reach out and ask me what is going on? Because I don't really have the words to talk about what's going on right now, or I don't really want I don't want to write it out, because if I write it out, it's going to make it more real, and I can't deal with that right now. Another thing is, we can always look at people's WhatsApp statuses. People do post things in there as well, and always check on that person who you see black out. Their DP, they had a picture up there at first, and all of a sudden this morning, it's black, or there is nothing there. Ask about it. Say, I noticed you had up a picture yesterday, but this morning you have nothing. Or I noticed that it's black. Is something going on? Can we talk about it? And also look to see what people are posting. Big tech now are looking into, and there are some organizations that actually have this within their IT systems, where if you are searching for certain things, it flags the user, because you would have to type in, of course, to log in. So it flags you, and it says to administrators, hey, something might be going on with this person, and they'll call you in. We see it if, for example, we go on Google and we type in something about being sick, or we type in certain symptoms. It will say, hey, to get more information about COVID, go here. And so, for example, if you go on to YouTube and you type in ways to take your own life, it will not bring up any videos that actually show you how to take your own life. It's going to show you inspirational videos. It's going to show you videos about how to overcome and how to talk to people about what is going on with you. So, you know, just be careful, be mindful rather about what people are posting.
Yeah.
Open your eyes and look at what people are posting, because that's how a lot of people reach out for help.
Yeah,
Solid points. If I could briefly add to that, I'd like to suggest everybody to listen more when people are speaking to them. I feel a big part of being a good friend and a good acquaintance is to listen and take in as much as possible to help. Because I feel like some people may reach out to their friends, but their friends just brush it off because it's just like a casual conversation to them. So I feel like everybody, the message I want to tell everybody is just to listen more rather than speaking more. So just listen as much.
And by listening, Daniel, but by listening, what we're actually saying, I'm sorry, what we're actually saying is that don't just hear what the person is saying. Listen to what they are not saying. That's what good listening is. It's listening to what they're not saying. That's what we do as counselors. We listen to what you're not saying.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Daniel,
I saw the passion coming out. That's cool. But nonetheless, one other space that persons can reach out for, it's not out as yet, but 2 years ago I was on the U-Report Youth Council, and I love that they're sponsoring this event. Big up them. Yeah. But what we're building in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, so it should be out in another, I guess, a month or two, is actually a mental health chat line that young people can reach out to. So it'll be counselors that persons can, you know, text in. It's also anonymous. And I've been partnering with them now through the Guild to actually help them test it out and ensure that it's fit and ready to go for when it does launch. We've also started doing some peer support groups. So I did it on one hall already, have some students come in. We just have a session where people can just share, because as Singh said, listening is very important, and sometimes we forget that there are others around us who are going through the exact same thing.
Yes. Yeah.
And so that sense of community and that shared experience is what can really help persons through.
Yeah, very, very good point there. Very good point. Oh my gosh.
No, man, that's why we need a psychologist as well, you know, because we got so much information in.
You know, I'm very, very happy we have a very diverse audience tuning in. In fact, we have a parent who's tuned in and is asking the question, as a parent of a teenager, it sometimes feels like you are contending with influencers to influence our teen. Person says my teen, but she's talking about teenagers or as a parent, right? Are you parents, and what is your advice to your own children on social media? I don't know if Craig, you have a child, or I don't want to know.
No, not yet.
That's okay. That's all right. So Ramesh is the gentleman on here with a teenager.
Them young, you know.
Yeah, but teenager, yeah, no, is he a teen?
Yeah.
Almost-ish.
Them man are really not influencing me.
Him think for himself.
Boy, again, it's like basically parents just feel like the children follow everything on social media. And again, it's not even just follow, but if you notice, these children now, a 10-year-old now have so much more knowledge than a 10-year-old 15 years ago. Because basically, we can talk off and with Rajero, Shensia's son. He's just 6-year-old and he know too much. You get me? I say, his mother cost me to buy my phone for him Christmas present. What? And this guy is sending me stuff all over from TikTok, and I'm like, yo, what you do? You understand? So I'm saying again that maybe because as influencers and everything just summarized back, it depends on where you post and this and that, the children really look up to us.
Yeah.
You understand? And it's not only children alone, adults, everybody, even the parents themselves, some of them look up to us. But I don't think it's something where it's them going to listen to them influencer more than their parents. What I think is that the parent is not spending enough time with their child. So sometimes it's like, if somebody go follow China Key and see she get up this morning, well, automatically them tell themselves, say, yo, I'm a friend that me know everything we should do during the day. And you as a parent, you get up, you make your breakfast, you leave them for all of the day and then come back in the night when you tuck them in. So you yourself need to spend more time so your child listening you, believing in you. And you understand, so it still come back to, it's not really influencer fault. I think it's the parent fault and need to spend more time with the youth.
It's very, very true. You can't yes, Julie, go ahead.
If I can add to what Ramesh was saying, right, I totally agree with him in terms of spending more time. You see, the parents not competing with the influencer. The parents are the parents, and play with your child. Go out and have ice cream with them. Don't hide the stuff that you are doing from them, and be corny. Like, try to use the slang and let them say, Mom, you say that awful. That's not how it's done. And then you say, okay, tell me how it's said. When I was 8 years old, and this is probably putting my dad in trouble, but too bad. He's old now. You can't do nothing to him. My dad used to smoke. He's not a smoker, but he used to smoke cigarettes around the house. And I was intrigued. And I'm like, Dad, can I try the cigarette? And he's like, sure, Julie, here, just 2 puffs. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. And because he was willing to share his stuff with me, and I felt like he was my friend, even though he's my dad, you know, that the relationship is closer. He didn't hide stuff from me. When he's drinking his sugar in the evening, it's Sunday evening, and Uncle Talbot come over, I get to drink with them too, but only like 2 sips.
I love the honesty.
The honesty is the honesty. And that's what we talk about, you know, like creating the best perception versus the reality of our lives. And it's true. A lot of the times, you know, we're very curious kids growing up in Jamaica, and it's important. We ask the questions, and, you know, our parents now have to figure out what's the best way to answer us, but also know as well to guide us. And sometimes most of us are exposed to things, you know, because the parents want to show you, say, you know, it is not that interesting, you know. It's not that, you know, it's not that interesting, trust me. You know, I mean, my child is 4 years old, so his influence is Cocomelon. But when we get there, though, when we get to that point where we have to have the big conversations as a teenager, you know, when he gets to that point, it's going to be my duty to also understand the content that he's putting out. So maybe I am not in total agreement, but I'm going to watch a piece of it. And we're going to have discussions like, why do you like this? Really, tell me about it.
Right.
But also,
I was totally going to suggest that as well. You have to watch the people who your young people are watching. Be in the know. And have a discussion with them about it.
Exactly.
You know, I just saw Sim's last video. Yo, what did you think about that? Or let's go to that place, or, you know, or those shoes. Whatever it is, know what they're watching too.
And also help to reassure them about who they are and their own uniqueness, and accepting themselves for who they are. So don't feel pressured because you see this online and you think, oh, mommy, I want that tight skirt that I saw China K wearing. And, you know, I just want to wear it because China K is wearing it. Yeah, but baby, I mean, are you sure? Because, you know, feel comfortable with it.
But, you know,
we're having that discussion.
Getting all of that, there's something very important we have to tell, especially like our kids are here. We need to understand this as well. And this is my opinion. 90% of the influencers and persons, and we're not talking like the comedians, and you have influencers where all about fashion and hype and bigness. These children need to understand, say, yo, them same influencer and people want to look up to where showing the riches and everything, them broke like dog.
Yes.
You understand? So we need to understand that. Nobody come look and say, oh, Mr. Jana wear Louis Vuitton and this a Casco clothes. He can't afford it. And you're going to have a next set of people where, oh, we're going to the restaurant. They went to the restaurant and then just drink water and buy an appetizer and leave. Stop following what people are selling on social media and just live what you can enjoy and you can be that. So even like the influencer will come back to like a parent and say, yo, me can't compete with Ramesh because him do this and him do that. No. Do what you can do. And again, time is priceless. You understand? So, nobody follow them.
No.
Some of them don't have it.
I hope that one they connect. I really hope that connect. I really hope that one they connect because, you know, it's very important for me. It is. And you can't, I'm happy that we're having the conversation in this fashion as well because we don't need to sugarcoat nothing. It's the reality. And if you cannot understand the importance of putting yourself out there and realizing that you have to do so in a safe manner, And safety is not just about protecting your password and blocking people and deleting comments or whatever. The moment you get on the internet, safety also has to do with the perception that you start to create in your mind, and also how your mentals tie into that. And our young people are using the internet very, 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 very much so. You know, when we look at Instagram and Facebook and the numbers and TikTok now, the biggest platform, and you have Gen Z and everybody taking that over. Safety also has to do with your consumption and some of the story we make up as well. So, as Rami says, some of the people that you're looking up to and emulating, you know, because you're emulating to such a deep, you know, part of that. You get confused and lost only to find out that some of the persons that you're looking up to really and truly have been influencing you the wrong way.
Yeah.
And it goes back to even the first part of the conversation as well. The first question we asked the panel, should influencers be responsible for the content that they post? You know, and it ties back to you don't know what they're posting, if it's the polished version of themselves, if they might lie, but that's not for you to know. You know, that's for you to get that information and then decide on how to act with that. Nobody is supposed to influence you to do certain things that you really don't want to.
You know, Joel, that's why it's also important for parents to engage in the space.
Yes.
Because I think what's happening is parents not understand how the social media thing works. You know, you just leave Instagram, leave Twitter, it's so confusing. And so the child who is still in their developmental stages is experiencing this big, wide world, and there's no guidance. There's nobody helping them. There's only one person speaking to you. So I think to some extent, as I said earlier, having the parents also engage in the space and understand what kind of media is being consumed and how that may be affecting the child, and also be able to say, you know, that what that person is posting is not true. Helping them to understand those kind of concepts is going to be important.
Julie?
Yeah, leave the space. Also, when your child is giving you feedback or talking to you about something that you don't necessarily like, always make them feel comfortable to talk to you about it. I'll give you an example it's kind of comical, but there's a 7-year-old that watches me, and her mother sent me a voice note. Her mother asked her, who do you love more, your mother, me, or Julie Mango? And the little girl said, Julie Mango, I love Julie Mango more than you, mommy. And then the mother laughed and she said, more than your own mother. Now, I made that example to say that the fact that the little girl was able to jokingly say that to her mom, and there wasn't a backlash or anything like that, that's a big deal. And that little girl is going to trust her mom. That little girl is going to feel free to talk to her mom about the things she might see on the internet that it puzzles her or she's not so comfortable. So always leave space for your child to say to you stuff that you might not like, and try to deal with it in an amicable way.
Yeah, yeah. Good point there.
No, man,
good point there, Julie.
Solid.
Listen,
solid.
guys, this discussion has been so amazing. Jolie, have some credit giveaways for the persons online who are
lining up.
I want Verizon credit.
No, wrong. No. But there's only Flow credits, Julie. Here we go. Jolie,
all right, here we go. Get those fingers out. All right. Hello, nobody take out the phone. Wait,
Ramesh.
All right, so the first one we have, follow me. And I'm going to call him fast. Everybody have them phone ready? Let me see the chat. If you have your phone ready. Yeah, man, send it out. All right, ready. Still ready if you're ready for the credit. Big shout out to Flo. Yeah, man. All right. So we're ready to go. Nobody, no production crew, nobody, panelists. Yeah, man. I like how now look over this direction. All right. So for the first credit, we have numbers 2, 1, 8, 3, 5, 6, 0, 5, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 9. Somebody must win. Somebody must win that one.
Number sign send.
Oh, number sign send. Them supposed to know that. Them supposed to know that.
Straight.
All right. All right. First one's supposed to clear. Ready for the second one? Because we have like 4, you know. We have like 4 credits to give away. Let me get the second one now. According to China Key, I should say it with the flow. Okay.
Straight.
Second one. Oh, somebody got it. Michaela got it. All right. Ready again. Michaela, please do not participate for this one. All right?
Yes, Michaela.
Next one. How you got credit put on again? Number
Star
sign.
1 to 1.
Yes.
Star.
Ready? 6, 8, 8, 1, 6, 3, 2, 4, 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, 1.
Number sign, send.
I hope I don't see Michaela so she gets it again.
Michaela, if you ever say get it, you have to go share the credit with somebody, you know. Oh, you share credit, star 128, no, sir? The person number, the amount, and then you press number sign and send. Any more? Anybody got it?
We have more. Oh, somebody has got it.
Who got it?
Danicia got it.
Danicia, big up yourself.
All right, ready again. One more. One already. All right. 3, 5, 1, 9, 0, 7, 0, 4, 9, 7, 8, 1, 9, 9. There you go. Who get that one?
Number sign send. Don't dial the number, you know. Press the number sign.
We have a last one. We have one more.
One more to go. Ramesh, she's begging now $50. Please, somebody out there, some very kind soul, please.
All right, we're ready up for the last one now. I feel like I should call this one in like...
Let me call it one.
Yeah, man. Oh, somebody has got it.
Mr. Phone.
Shannon got that one.
Is this one here, so I should call?
Yeah, man, that one there.
Okay, all right, ready?
You want to call it in French, Spanish, and
No,
Patois?
man, I can do this very, very quickly now, right? You ready for this? Fast fingers, star 121 star 0118582930438 number sign send.
Wow.
See if you're lucky.
Messed up.
Fastest finger, ready? Let's see who got
the fastest credit that ever give away.
Get him one more
I did it one more time. Star 121 star 0118582930438 number sign send.
Sabrina got it.
Sabrina
got it.
Hey.
Yeah, man, big up yourself, Sabrina.
That was quick.
Send me the 50 there, Sabrina.
Yeah, man. And the good thing is we have more giveaways in the Zoom party.
Okay,
good. So if you never get no credit, no. Remember, we have the Zoom party that you need to tune into, so we have credit, we have enough other things.
Whole heap of things from Flow to
yeah,
give
man,
away.
pay attention to that.
All right, awesome. I mean, as we wrap up, panelists, let's just talk about, your 2 cents, your encouragement for our users or teenagers using the internet. Julie, we're going to start with you. I mean, just wrap up for us by giving us your advice to them.
First of all, I just want to big up the persons doing the sign language. They're really, really good and expressive, especially when Craig was saying, the guy was doing, and I'm like, oh, that's so sorry, I just had to make mention. You guys are fantastic. I really love it. So for teens, don't be afraid. That's the first thing. Don't be afraid of what you see on the internet. Always remember, the internet is for entertainment. Entertainment is good, it's not bad. Though it's not the enemy. The internet is not the enemy. The mere fact that you exist, you are valuable and you are beautiful. There isn't a standard for beauty, there just isn't. There is entertainment. There's a standard for beauty in entertainment, and in entertainment you probably have to look a certain way, but then there's the anomaly that if you look a different way, it doesn't matter. Because you're created the way you're created, it means you have a purpose, and that's why your eyes small and your forehead big, because it's supposed to be that way and it's beautiful. Don't be afraid of the internet. If you see something that you don't understand, reach out to an adult and say, hey, oh, her bottom so big. Adult say she did surgery. Oh, cool. Nice. Give her a like. She'll do her thing. She'll hustle. No problem. Don't bad mind nobody. Just cheer everybody on. Live your own life. Find who you want to be and just cut and go through.
Good point there. Sing Zima.
So for me, I'd just like everybody to acknowledge that what they see isn't the whole picture. In this room alone, there's like 25 plus people who people aren't seeing, who's making sure that the event is even hosting. So it's the same thing with creating content. So just be aware that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than what you're seeing on your screen, and just take that into consideration when you're double tapping, when you're sharing, when you're commenting, and when you're liking. So
yeah, love that. Doc. Or is it too soon to call you Doc?
Give me 3 months. No, seriously, 3 months. In 3 months. I perhaps would just want to talk to the social influencers and say, use your platform responsibly, model the kind of behaviors that we want to see our young people practicing, and just continue being real. Be real when you can, be honest when you can. I think the word we're using is authentic. Be authentic.
Yeah. Daniel?
Yeah, the message for me would definitely have to be believe in yourself as a young person. You know, a queen is a queen, a king is a king. Nobody else needs to tell you that, right? You have to know that for yourself firstly. And I think just being responsible in all the spaces that you engage in.
Awesome. China K.
What I would say is to be mindful of everything, be mindful of what you put on a social space, be mindful of your comments, be mindful of your responses to, you know, what people post, because like Ramesh said, we're all humans. And I would also say to use social media for your advantage. I know a lot of persons might say it's hard to get a job, you know, I have a little thing I want to start. Research how to put it on the social space to make it work for you. Use social media to your advantage in everything. And that's how you could use the space for positivity instead of, you know, more on the negative side. And be yourself always.
True that. Ramesh.
Boy, them say everything, you know. Just remember, say, social media is within your phone or your tablet. Them can't touch you. So don't be afraid of it. Utilize it to bring in income or for entertainment. Just be positive about it, people. That's all. Just enjoy social media. If somebody posts something you like, box it away. Yeah. Somebody says something you like, box it away. Don't be like Ramesh, you have a cuss. Understand? Just be good somebody. Right? Good.
No, can we please put our hands together, please, for our influencers and our panelists, please. Thank you so much. And I just want to big up, you know, our influencers who are doing great things. Julie, with your platform, thank you so much for giving us good, wholesome content.
Yes.
China K with your platform as well, and congrats on everything that you've done. Ramesh, who is always reaching out to our Jamaican people. Even when we're going through the hardest of times, he was always opening his gates and his doors and his resources to make sure that we're touching people. You know, so we have to really congratulate them and give them a tap on their shoulder. Daniel, for having good conversations online as well in the Twitter space and bringing us really into the mindset of our teenagers. Craig, for the amazing, you know, direction and insight that you brought to the usage of social media and what the perceptions are like and the perspectives that people may have while using it. And for you as well, Sing Zimmer, who is an upcoming content creator. Keep doing great things online. You know, we're waiting to see much more from you. Well, thank you all so much for joining us.
Yes.
Joel, this was incredible.
Yes, and of course, we want to also big up our partners for Safer Internet Week, which we have the Ministry of Science, Energy, Technology. We have Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the National Secondary Students Council, the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, the National Council for Senior Citizens, You Report, the Jamaica Observer, and OUR Today. So that's, you know, really, really for coming on board and just supporting the initiative. And of course, we have some other events for this week. Very important Seniors Forum. I've heard that this has been fantastic. You know, we were able to onboard seniors to digital and getting them up to speed with everything that's going on, and that's really good for our community. That's happening on Friday at 10 a.m. and this will be streamed live on Flow's Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube channel. That's hosted by my favorite, Auntie Faye Ellington, and of course, Glenn Titus Campbell. That's the Seniors Forum happening on Friday at 10 a.m. on Flow's IG, Facebook, and YouTube.
Yeah.
And of course, we have one more, the Kids Talk. And Kids Talk will be on Saturday at 9:30 a.m. Again, will be streamed live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And this will be hosted by the elegant and eloquent and fantastic Dr. Terry Carell Reed.
Yes.
So that's on Friday, and ensure that, you know, for those who tune in, if you have a little brother or a little sister, this one is for them. And for those who have your grand aunt, your mom, your dad, and you want to get them to really understand the benefits of digital and staying safe on social and digital, the Seniors Forum on Fridays for them as well. So, you know, quite a great way. We kickstarted the festivities today. Wholesome discussion this morning earlier when you had the conversation with the younger students, and you know, this well-packed conversation just now.
Yeah, man, it was a really, really good way to kickstart our acknowledgement of Safer Internet Day and Safer Internet Week. And so we thank all our panelists for joining us. Jamal Hall, Kijani Williams, Janae Francis, all students who kind of gave us an insight into their experience, you know, as students on the online space as well, and our panelists here today. Big up to our DJ Cryptic, who's holding it down with the good music. Thanks for those who joined us via Zoom as well, or students on Zoom. Thank you so much. And for our interpreters as well, thank you so much for ensuring that we're reaching all of our users. Now, my producers, they're pointing at I can't hear one thing she's saying. I'm there and look into her money.
Remember the after party. Like the after party, very significant and important, our virtual party. And we...
Exactly. I'm not sure. I'm not understanding what you're saying. Okay, so, right. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we throw it to the DJ Cryptic
now,
yeah.
DJ. Is that
Cryptic,
what you're saying?
You're taking
right.
out. Hey,
thank you guys for joining us. All the very best. Use your internet safely, please.
I got a lot of toys, 720S pumping Fallout Boy. You was talking in the beginning, back when I was feeling unforgiving. I know you walk to see me winning, see the ink glue in my mouth and I be grinning. But she gon' slide right to my side, I know. She pulled up with her friends, then we skirt off in the bed. Oh, took her back to my crib, and I regret it. Cause she tryna feel like she asleep, so she tried to stay the whole week. I'm like, oh nah, she gotta go. Ask me her name, I swear I don't even know. They wanna know why the girl them dip on me. Them I ain't green, them I ain't just sip on me. They wanna know why they love him off so much. Like what is the reason? It's just the vibe, I'm that guy. She put her legs in the sky whenever I pull up. She got her clothes off from the walk, and she won't waste no time. Oh, she don't want nobody else, I know. But I can't be what she wants. They all have the same story. They all want me to themselves, but I'm a jealous. The city is my palace. What I'ma do? Cause I want she and she and she, and they love them some me. I ain't the dude they gon' say bye to. I ain't the dude you gotta lie to. I ain't the dude that you can trust on speaker when you're with your people. Cause you know the timing I'm on. I want she and she and she.
Ay. She's a runner, she's a track star. She gon' run away when it gets hard. She can't take the pain, she can't get scarred. She hurt anyone that gets involved. Don't wanna commit, why take it this far? She gon' do the race, just not this one. Love is a game you used to cheer for. When I was down to talk, you weren't here for. You, leave a trail of heartbreak, get heartache like it cool.
She wanna
jet fare. Versace hotel with Versace roll. Like it when you let down your hair with no roll. And I stay to myself cause I never like these. Yeah. If she only like the guap red like these.
We're skipping. It's a run. New York City. It's dancing, it's moving, it's electric. Little kids, hot girls request this. Come on now, everybody catch this. DJ select this, skip to my loop. Oh, skip to my loop. Yeah, skip to my loop. Skip to my loop. Yeah. We're dancing from evening till the sun is rising. This dancing summer is hot.
A cool afternoon, nobody has to work, no, nobody goes to school. Sit down on the corner, joke around and act a fool. The elders playing dominoes, strength is playing pool. I love college, but I'm going to the beach. Money in my pocket, so I know I have to reach. Call a couple girls, tell them to link up with my peeps. Tell them rolling on them top. strong ravers.
Show them fi do the no linger. Sweep your foot to the right and snap your finger. No linger, no linger. Them dancing style all outdated like tinga. Come we show them fi do the no linger. Sweep your foot to the left and snap your finger. No linger. Everybody.
If no one me can build another dance, but every man in a me could forget a chance. Ravers, clavers, crew hats. Hey, cryptic, know that. Flary. You know see the ravers crew flare. Me diamonds a canary. Every dance when me roll with scary. Fambo flary. No see me clothes and me car wash daily. How about you think man lady? Me no busy signal local Gary. With a Glock in a me hand. Me brother dead with a map in a hand. We have the blueprint to go execute the plan. Me want for richer than a dozen metal and me have a gal in a me van. Blow me like a fan. Liberty set I hate them gal you have a scan. Woman a fly down on me like my railway line. Cologne I keep them you that think I'm never that. We a cha-cha boy, be a cha-cha, listen go away.